Hello and welcome to another episode of Get the Boots, the podcast about grabbing opportunities, overcoming challenges, and saying yes to your story. I'm Stephanie, your host, and I've just returned from a couple of weeks in Europe where I took a real break and I didn't look at my laptop once. And now I'm back with some new energy and some new guests, and I'm so happy to bring you a new episode. My guest today is absolutely amazing. I was blown away by this woman, her warmth, her strength, and her positivity, and I can promise you that you will be too. She is not an international person, so this episode is very much what I've set out to do with my podcast when I changed the title from Transcontinental Overload to Get the Boots. Because you don't have to have moved abroad to experience breakthroughs and life changes. Dr. Daryll Wharton is a keynote speaker, a mindset coach, and a hypnotherapist specializing in subconscious transformation for women who are ready to break limiting beliefs and align with the next level version of themselves. She believes that success on the outside should feel the same on the inside. And there are so many moments in this conversation where you can really feel that she's not just preaching it, she's actually living it. So without any further introduction, I just want to say, go ahead and listen and just let Dr. Daryll's words flow through you. Enjoy. It's so nice to see you again, Dr. Daryll.
Thank you.
So happy to have you on Get the Boots, the podcast.
Yeah, love the title, Get the Boots.
Yes. Thank you so much for saying that. That makes me really happy because I really love the title too. But I was a little bit nervous because I had a different title before and you never know how people react to change. But yeah, it was time for a new title. And I think our conversation today is the perfect example for why I needed to change it, because I want to talk to more people than just the ones who've moved. And so I'm really excited today to talk to you because you're exactly the kind of person I want to have on here and hear someone's perspective who's not talking about what moving does, but how you can change as a person in the same country, staying in the same country. So
absolutely.
And I know we're going to cover a whole lot of changes and transitions and things like that. So yeah. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
So you, when I did my intro, I introduced you as a mindset coach and a hypnotherapist, but you are so much more.
Oh my.
And so obviously I'm super curious how someone decides to do that professionally and what your journey was to get there. Who was Dr. Daryll before being Dr. Daryll, and what happened in your life for you to get to this point?
Well, it's so funny. I finally landed upon mindset coach and hypnotherapist. Hypnotherapist because I'm board certified and and trained. But the mindset, it took me a while to even get to, okay, what am I? What do I do? And I summed it all down to, I help women to become the woman that they thought they could never be. That woman that you see and you think someone else is that woman and they walk past you and you're like, oh, I wish that I could do that. And it's like, hey, you absolutely can do that. And I was that person before. I was that person that thought that the grass was greener on everybody else's lawn except mine. And I just felt like, oh, it would be so nice if I could be this fabulous woman that wakes up and feel amazing no matter what's going on, until I changed who I was. And that did take a long journey. I'm going to share with your audience. I always say I have this number. We all have this, some of us, not everyone, but we have, like these lucky numbers, and my number is not a lucky number. That number is 674. And people are like, well, what is that? Well, guess what? That is how much I used to weigh, 674 pounds, almost 700 pounds. And I was that woman who inside I saw a glimpse of who I wanted to be.
Hmm.
I saw myself doing exactly what I'm doing now, but thought, no, I'll never be able to do that at almost 700 pounds. And it was just this journey of going to bed every night, asking God to please just don't wake me up. I wasn't going to do anything, but I was like, if you do it, I'll be good. Just don't wake me up. And I realized one day that me praying over that period of time, I cried myself to sleep probably
Hmm.
every night in high school, and he just would not listen to me.
So you kept
And
waking up.
I kept waking up, and I'm like, "Come on now, you playing jokes on me? Why do you keep waking me up every day?" And I realized how powerful I truly was, even at almost 700 pounds.
Hmm.
I found the worthiness of like, okay, I must be worth something because I'm still here. And I did get to a point where I was thinking about doing something. I even looked it up. I'm getting ready to date myself, everyone. Back in the day, you used to have to sign into your college library in order to get to articles
Yeah. Yes.
to write your papers. And I did that, and I researched how many pills would I need to take to kill someone my size to like die. And
Wow.
then it hit me, I cannot do this. And my husband come home and find me, and that was like my turning point. I have to do something.
Yeah.
And
So you said you were thinking those thoughts even in high school
oh
when you
my
were in high
goodness,
school. And
yes, I
so
think
then obviously that was like quite a period until you then got married. And
yes,
so that's years of feeling
just
like you didn't really want to exist the way you
I
did.
didn't want to exist. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first thought came at like the age of 8. I didn't
Hmm.
know at the time that's what it was, but even at the age of 8, I was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I didn't know how to verbalize that at
Yeah.
that age. But yeah, it was some years of, I couldn't imagine now going to sleep so unhappy. And I remember my chest and my heart feeling so heavy with this
Yeah, that's so
heaviness.
sad for like a little
Yeah,
child to. And
yeah.
did you have anybody to talk to about this? What was your family situation like? Or did
I
anyone kind of see the sadness?
No, I had no one, and I grew up with, my parents, and I had an older brother. My older brother teased me a lot, but he learned to do that from my mom. My mom was very hard on me, even
Hmm.
at 8 or 9, why don't you just stop eating? And it's like I don't know how to do that at 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And I grew up with her being very verbally abusive to me, saying, you're never going to get married, you're not going to go to college. Fat people don't go to college. Fat people don't, go to school or they have friends. And thank God I didn't know how fabulous I was at the time, but thank God
Well,
I was
no, especially not when you're told all the time that you're not worth
exactly.
anything. I
Yes.
mean, it's so and I think, I mean, all parents to some extent are guilty of saying the wrong thing to their kids
Because
from
they
time
don't
to
know what to
time.
say.
But then a
Yeah.
lot of the time, and but but verbal abuse is just, it's not okay. And it kind of, I
Yeah.
think parents don't realize how damaging this can be,
Yeah.
and how hard it is anyway to, as a school kid, to go to school. And you said your brother teased you, but I'm guessing kids
Well,
at
I actually
school
didn't go
were
through
not so
that.
kind.
Yeah, I didn't, thank God I actually was not bullied in school.
Yeah,
I
so it was
was
at
a
home.
Yeah, it was just at home. I was very
Yeah.
friendly. I had a lot of friends, just for my personality. And so it was really from my mom, and
Yeah.
she just didn't know what to do. I've learned to move on. At my age, you can't say, "Oh, my
Yep.
mom
No.
bullied me." It's like, okay, girl, what's next? You know what I mean? She
Oh
did
yeah,
what
you
she,
can and it's always the
yeah,
thing. Parents do what they do and they do what they think is right at the time. So
yeah.
it's and you can't hold that against them.
I can't.
And
No.
also it's like you don't as at 8 you don't have the language and the ability to explain how it's hurting
No.
you. You just
Yeah,
take it. Yeah. So that's a long time of suffering
yeah.
and being
But
sad.
the thing is I am a true believer in we go through what we need to go through to get where we are supposed to be. So I actually probably would not change anything because those words that she said to me, what it did was it sparked a fire in me
Mhm.
to prove her wrong in everything that she said. And I did exactly that. I had friends all over the place. I sang. I married my high school sweetheart. We've been together since the 10th grade. I have 5 degrees. I proved her wrong in every single
Yes,
thing
amazing.
that she said. So I have to look at it like, okay, well, I'm gonna thank you on that note, and just say, who wants their? I think when I was 11, I was like 250 pounds. Who wants their 11-year-old child to be 250 pounds and they don't know what to do? It was
Hmm.
strictly out of fear, you know. So I've moved on, and I used it as a superpower to say to people, no matter who tells you that you can't, you absolutely can. If you decide that you can, you have to decide first.
Yeah.
And so I just took it and ran with it.
I love the line on your website where it says, it's people say it's all in your head. And you're like, yes, it is
Yeah.
all in your head. You have all the
Yeah.
power. I love that so
All the
much.
power.
Yeah,
Yeah, all the power. And as a hypnotherapist, now I can put the science to it,
hmm,
right? But before I've gotten to this point and was trained, I just started by saying affirmations after a failed weight loss surgery, by the way. We don't want to skip that. Like, I
yeah,
tried everything to lose this weight, even surgery, and I don't regret my surgery. It still gave me, it still works for me to this day.
yeah.
But I only lost like maybe 250 pounds of that surgery, and I was still in the high 400s,
Hmm.
low 400s, high 300s for years. And then when my youngest got to be about 9, I was like, you know what? I'm still not happy. I need to do something. And I started saying, I am disciplined and focused. That's what's tattooed on my wrist. I live by this affirmation. And I didn't believe it at first, but I kept
Yeah,
saying it. And that tells you that the power of your mind. When you train your mind to think different, you can be different. You just have to be diligent to keep trying and keep saying it over and over and over again. And that's what I did.
yeah.
I started.
Amazing. So let's talk a little bit about your degree. Because you went to school a lot. So when I talked to you the first time, and then I looked at your website and everything. So what
Oh
made
my
you? I mean, this
God.
is just the willpower and the discipline alone to do that, to go to school and to get those degrees. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, you know what? I don't even know if I could take credit. I just didn't know what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
And no matter how bad I felt about myself, like I said, I always had this glimmer that I was meant for more. And no matter what I decided to do, I knew that I was going to do it well, which is a good thing, but it could be a double-edged sword. So I changed my majors so many times. I have a undergrad in social work, an undergrad in psychology. I'm a special educator by trade. I got my master's in special education. So it's like I knew that I would do well in everything that I decided to do. And and it's okay because guess what? And what I do now, all of those things, it helps me to help women to like realize their joy that they have inside of them.
Mhm.
So I don't mind. I have so many credits. I won't even name the all of the majors that I had: accounting, vocal performance, because I sing. I just didn't quite know which one, but I knew I would be great at any of them. So I wasted a lot of
That's
money.
so amazing because it's like when you say, well, I did all this because I didn't know what to do. A lot of kids don't know what to do and they don't go
No,
and get all the credits and get all the degrees, you know? And I
I
think
was special.
this is quite there must have been this real fire inside of you to just not stop, not give up. And
Yeah, it was. That's a good way to describe it. Just the fire of just proving that I was
mhm,
worthy. But guess what? I also eventually had to let that go because I don't need to prove to anyone that I'm worthy of being here.
yeah,
So, on paper it looks really good, but it was a form of me trying to fit in and to show people
yeah.
that even though I'm heavy, I'm still worthy of these things. And I'm still plus size to this day because I don't care about being a size 2. I want to be a size healthy and
Mhm.
sexy and feeling amazing, right?
Yes. I love
Um,
that. Size healthy. That's
oh yeah.
absolutely
And don't forget
yes.
sexy.
Yeah.
Gotta be a
Yes.
size sexy too.
So good. And this doesn't happen. Feeling healthy and sexy does not happen when you constantly feel like you have to prove something.
Yes, it's so
It's
exhausting.
but that's the wisdom of being older because
Yeah.
as a 20 odd year old you feel I think in this society in the way we are uh, brought up, the things we see, things people talk about, we all feel like we have to achieve things. We have to
Yeah.
get the degrees. We have to achieve certain milestones. We have to be a certain size. We have to be this and that. And it's like,
Yeah.
and like you said right at the beginning, it's like when you constantly think the grass is greener, where people have this or that degree, or they are a size 2, or and and then you dig deeper and do they feel healthy? Do they feel happy? Do they feel
Yeah,
sexy? I'm
you're
not so
right.
sure because I think when you're caught in this, like, I must could do these things, I must achieve, and then I fail, I can't do this. You won't
Yeah,
feel good
yeah.
in yourself.
It's a constant race. And when I realized that I was my only competition, I am the only person that I am competing with. And
Yeah.
that competition is, how am I a better person than what I was yesterday?
Mhm.
What do I leave for people to show that you can end up falling in love with yourself? And once you do that, you can't help but touch other people, because that is what true confidence is that lack of fear. When you're
Mhm.
confident, you don't care how many times you fail. I don't care if, after this podcast, people listen and they're like, oh, she was really terrible. I'll listen to it. And guess what? I'm going to be better at answering questions the next time, even though I've been on hundreds of podcasts. But guess
Yeah.
what? I never settle for being perfect. There's always room for improvement.
Mhm. An improvement, not in the sense that you feel like you have to check boxes, that you feel like you need to reach a certain score, or you need to
Yeah,
be on so many podcasts to be, to reach your target for the week or whatever it is. It's not really about that, is it?
it's not. Oh
And
my
I feel
God.
like this really comes across when it's like even when I talk to you for the first time, that it's just you just exude this quiet confidence, but you can tell that there's a real fire underneath. It's so refreshing to have someone who has, I mean, on paper you have achieved a ton of things, but those are not what you feel are really defining you. And that's
Goodness.
I think
No.
that really comes across.
I say, people are like, oh my gosh, you lost over 400 pounds. I've lost over 400 pounds
Hmm.
of physical weight, but I lost infinite pounds of emotional weight. And that is, if I had to choose between the two, I would choose losing the emotional weight because once I got rid of that, I was able to attack the physical weight. I was able to attack, the limiting beliefs that come in. And they still come in because I'm human. But honey, they get checked so fast at the door, they don't have time to sit and stay and chat. We don't even chat. We don't chat.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get rid of it right away. And I used to didn't do that. I would wallow in just this self-shame and I feel so free now that I
Mhm.
don't have to live up to anyone else's expectations. And that is just free to be able to
Mhm.
live like that in peace. There is no amount of anything that I would trade for it.
So when did that hit you? That's kind of sense, because obviously, you said you had failed weight loss surgery.
Yeah.
When you say failed, do you mean just it didn't work enough, or that you were promised that it would?
It didn't work. It didn't work enough. You have to lose I think it's if you lose 75% of your weight, they consider it a successful
Okay.
surgery. And so now it's considered successful. But when I got stuck in those in that low 400s, I was there for like 10 years.
Yeah.
They don't even do my surgery anymore. It was so long ago. They don't
Hmm.
even do my surgery. So that was considered a failed surgery. But
Hmm.
what got me back on track was the mindset work that I did. I didn't
Because that
start,
was my next question. Because
yeah,
you must have felt disappointed,
very.
or just like, I'm doing all this, I'm going under the knife, I've made the decision. It's a huge thing to get ready
Yeah,
for, and then it's not successful, so that must have knocked you
exactly.
down. And then
Yeah,
that was my question, is like, how what made you then
yeah.
kind of jump back on and be like, no, I'm gonna
Yeah.
use this.
I
And
I felt worthless again. The tears started coming again. I hadn't cried myself to sleep in like years.
mm,
And I just said, I don't know what else to do. And so I saw a documentary called The Secret. I'm sure everyone knows The Secret. And I watched it and I immediately was angry at the end. Like, what are these people talking about that you could just think something? Girl, I was so
mhm,
mad at the end of watching that documentary. Like, why are y'all walking around here lying to people? You can't change anything by thinking about it. But something in me said, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna try it. And just that one affirmation, I'm disciplined and focused. And I would just say it and I would write it down and I would do the 3-6-9 method. I would write it 3 times in the morning, 6 in the afternoon, 9 at night. And I would journal and I would script and write a letter to my future self. And before I knew it, I was a little bit more disciplined and focused. I was getting up at 3:30, going to my trainer at 4:30. I became plant-based and stopped eating meat. I haven't eaten meat in about 10 years.
mhm.
But even that journey, when people say, "Oh, do you eat meat?" And I would say, "Oh, no, I don't eat meat." And I done had a chicken wing the day before. But I told myself, I don't eat meat. And then
Wow. Yes.
eventually, I didn't eat meat. I changed the identity of who I was, but I want to say that 674 pound me, oh my gosh, I love her so much. You know why? Because she's the one who made the decision to have the surgery.
Yeah.
I had never been in a hospital. I was very blessed. All I had was a low thyroid and I had mild sleep apnea and arthritis. I didn't nothing, no diabetes, no high blood pressure. I'd never been in the hospital. I was very scared to be that young at 28 going in to have this major surgery.
Yeah.
She is fabulous. I don't know if I can make that decision
Hmm.
today.
I love
You
that
know,
perspective so much. This is
yeah.
amazing, to just go back and thank yourself.
Oh my goodness, I
Can
thank
you talk a
her.
little bit about this, what was it? The three,
Oh,
six,
the three
nine?
six nine method.
Yes.
And it's just you got to be into numerology just a little bit. As you can see, I have my angel number on my necklace, 444.
You're speaking my language, so yeah. I'm very interested.
Yeah, so that 369 method is, and oh gosh, of course it's going to escape me. I haven't done it in so long, but it's just a matter of you tapping into your subconscious mind. It helps you to tap into your subconscious mind. And I don't even want to give misinformation. I can't remember what the 3, the 6, and the 9 means. All I know is that it works. And the fact that you've created the affirmation, you're saying it, then you're writing it. And as a special educator, I can tell you reading, writing, and
Mm-hmm.
reciting, it goes together.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it more powerful. It makes you able to retain information more, which is what we want our babies to do. We want them to come to school and learn and keep that information in. That 369 method will help you to do that. And
Yeah.
go and get yourself a beautiful journal. Don't settle for anything. Like I only write in purple ink. I'm sure my husband just never wants me to buy another journal for the rest of my life, right? If I see a cute journal, I buy it because it shows that you're worthy of it. And I took that cute journal and I wrote my affirmation in cursive. I don't even think they teach cursive writing anymore, but
No, I love
I
cursive
know.
writing so
Oh my
much. And
gosh.
I feel like I've completely forgotten how to do it. I'm so out of practice because as a writer, I'm constantly writing, but I type all the time. And then when
Yeah.
I have to write a card, I keep messing up. And I'm like, what is going on? I used to love my writing and my
Yeah.
cursive. And and also there is something to the, like you said, the writing,
The
reading and
writing, of
writing by
course, is good.
hand, it
Yeah.
goes in differently, doesn't it? So
And it
you,
taps into your subconscious mind. My signature event I do is called Color and Center. I also use coloring because it's meditative, and we also journal because
mhm,
I once I do the hypnosis at the end, I want the suggestions that I give the participants to stick. And
yeah,
that is how I kind of just ease my way on into your little subconscious mind and help it to stick because you have to give your subconscious mind directions. She's just going to follow what you've been doing. So if you say, I'm not pretty, she's going to make sure that you feel not pretty 24/7 because she's
yeah,
very diligent at doing what you tell her to do. But you have to tell her the right thing.
yes, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes so much sense. So, and purple ink, I love that too. So
Oh, I'm
that's your
royal.
signature. I
Yeah.
mean, it's obvious from your website that you like purple,
Yes.
and it's and that's just a feeling kind of thing. That's your color.
That's my color. That is just a way that I tell myself that I love myself. And it's even with, sometimes we say, oh, I'll just use this little thing. No, you're worthy of getting something special. We as women, we tear
Mhm.
down compliments so quickly. Oh, that's a beautiful dress. And you go, oh, this old
Yeah,
thing. You know what I
yeah,
say now, girl? Thank you. I think it's cute too.
yeah.
That's my
Yes,
response
that's the
now.
best. Yeah, so true. Why is that? But I feel like the that's changing. The younger generation are much better at it. They're much better
They are.
at taking what they feel is good for
Yeah.
them. I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like there is a it's slowly changing. Like as we go, go down the generations. I feel like we are still in this. We still have to break through this. I have to be a good girl. I can't ask too much because I don't want to trouble anyone. But
Yeah.
and so you're like, oh, I don't need purple ink. I can just take the cheap ink that is, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but I
And you
love
can
that.
if you like it, if that's the ink that you like, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of your preference, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But you don't want to sacrifice your preference because you're trying to please
Yeah.
someone else. And I have
Yeah.
no problem with saying no, and I'm not going to explain. No is a sentence. I don't have to explain unless I choose to, of course.
Hmm.
But that is just showing that I stand with me and that I
Yeah.
know that I'm only going to give you from my overflow. No one is
Mhm.
getting anything from inside of my cup. And that includes family, children, your job, whatever it is. We dip into our cups too much for other people.
Hmm. Yep.
And it's not fair
Always.
to you
It's always, and you see it all around you, don't you? I mean,
all around.
you see, it's not even if you don't, you see it in friends, and you kind of you want to say no for them. You want to be like, come on, say no. You don't want. I know you
Yeah.
don't want to do this, and you do it. And yeah,
Yeah.
and I always still find it so much easier to see it in other people and to help other people or tell other people to, you know, you need some boundaries here. And then I kind of look at myself and I'm like, "Ooh, I think someone needs to have a
I'm
word with
guilty.
with
Yeah.
me."
And you
So,
know what? It's funny you say that. I too have that same issue because I am a serving person. I'm here to serve.
well, and this is
And
and it's just like, I mean, it's my love language is,
yeah,
you know, doing
yeah,
things, acts of service, right? It's like you
yeah,
do things for other people, and that's how I show that I love someone. But there is
yeah,
that fine line of, okay, am I doing this? Maybe not just because I love you, but maybe because I feel like I need to do this so that you appreciate me more, or that I need to prove something,
yeah,
and this is proving something again. So
yeah.
we have to be aware of that, that boundary.
And schedule your boundaries. That's what I have to do. I get up a little bit earlier than everyone else because I'm an early bird. Like if I'm tired, I'm not going to set my clock to get up to do something for someone else. So I'm an early bird. And meditation, if everyone just meditated every single morning, this entire world would be better. For you to sit with yourself and it is a time for you, I'm talking to my religious people who are like, oh, I pray every morning. Guess what? I pray too. And then you know what I do? I shut up so that I can listen for
Mm-hmm.
the answers of the prayers that I just said. I be quiet and I sit in silence, and that allows me to tap
Mm-hmm.
into me to hear that inner voice speaking to me. I have made so many good decisions because I was just quiet and I sat with myself and the answers came. We don't do that enough. And no, you don't have to sit there for 30 minutes.
I was just going to say, in meditation, I feel like it scares people off. The word
Yeah.
meditation, and I feel like there needs to be, people need to be told that meditation does not mean that you have to sit still for 30 minutes and listen to some,
Crazy.
whatever.
You can do a walking meditation.
It's like,
Yeah.
exactly. But it's like you said, it's the time where it's just you. I struggle to sit still, especially with nothing going on. But I
Yeah.
knit, and I totally feel like that. So I'm knitting, I'm creating
Yeah.
something. So I feel I don't need any music with it.
Yeah.
Fine if there is music, but I don't need
Yeah.
Tibetan gongs or whatever it is.
Exactly.
As beautiful as they are, and there's another time for them. But I don't
Yeah.
feel like meditation needs to be the specific. I think a lot of people have this specific image in their minds where you have to sit like cross-legged,
Yeah.
and that's not it. It's really
Yeah.
just that the
People just
time with
watching
yourself.
TV. Yeah, they're
Mm-hmm.
watching TV or they saw this somewhere. And again, that is a form of limiting beliefs that you think, oh,
Yeah.
well, I don't
Oh,
have
that's not
time to
for me.
meditate. Yeah, I don't have
Yes.
time to meditate because I don't have any gongs to hit. And
Yeah.
and you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
You're making excuses
Mm-hmm.
and you are like tying into a
Mm-hmm.
belief that probably doesn't even belong to you. You've heard someone else say it, or you've heard your mother
Mm-hmm.
say it. And so now it becomes yours and you don't
Yeah.
even question it. You just go along with it. But if
Yeah.
everyone stopped and said, well, why
Yes.
not? Or why can't I
And
do this?
yes, and I think the, just saying I'm gonna have, and even if it's just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, where it's just you and you take that time, people feel so guilty for it. And there is this weird perception. And I feel like sometimes it's because I get this from like the older generation a lot as well, just kind of like, oh, well, if I spent so much time thinking about myself or whatever, then I mean, who needs that? That's a selfish thing to do. And we don't need to, um, it's like, why are you spending so much time thinking about yourself?
Yeah.
That sort of
But
thing.
the
It's
thing
like, no,
is,
that's not what it
you're
is.
prepping.
That's not what it is at
Exactly.
all. It
You're
is,
prepping.
and it's almost the opposite of being selfish,
Yeah, it
because
is.
you, at the end of the day, this makes you, if it helps you be make better decisions and be calm and
Yeah.
get clarity in your head, you're going to be a much better person. Like you said, the
Yeah,
world would be a better place because
exactly.
people would actually become nicer.
Yeah. And you and you
Which,
you're gonna be able to show up more for the people that you
yep,
do care about
that's
because you
yep.
have replenished your
Mhm.
soul. Like think
Yep.
about it on an airplane. The people even tell you put your oxygen mask on first.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
it's the
Hmm.
same thing. You have to put yours on first before you start trying to help everybody else put their oxygen mask on.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I'm a firm believer in the circles. You know, we have our circles around us, right? And we let people stay in this circle because that's your sister or your mother or your friend since
Mhm.
kindergarten, and they're negative, and every morning when you talk to them, all they do is complain.
Mhm.
Please move them to a different circle. Take them out of the circle that is right around you and put them in circle 9. You
Yeah.
don't have to get rid of them, but get them out of your inner circle because they are impacting you and holding you back. And they're not intentionally doing that. They're not doing it on purpose. They don't know any better, but you're leveling up. And sometimes you can't bring everybody with you.
Do you have any tips? Say if say you know exactly who is kind of zapping your energy, and you're like, I really need to get you out of my inner circle because you are taking too much of my energy, and it's not good for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you do?
You know what? You don't have to have a conversation with them.
Mm.
People see you evolving. They see it. What you do is you give them less and less access. You can wean them off of you. I had a friend who was like that, and I spoke to her every single morning, and I was guilty of it too. We both called and complained, and then I realized this was not serving me to start my day off like this. I shared with her some of the things that I was doing. You know, hey, I get up, I got my gratitude statement that I say, I sit and I journal. And when I realized she was not interested in those things,
Yeah,
I pulled back. I didn't have to have a conversation with her. Everybody think you gotta talk about it. No, I don't have to talk about it. I started to change in me, and she saw that change. And we are still friends to this day.
that's
But
amazing. Love it.
we no longer talk in the morning because I don't have to subscribe to that.
Yeah,
Make a decision and not worry about what they are going to think because your
yeah,
thoughts will not make my life happier. So I can't consider your thoughts in my life. It's not fair to me. But we're still friends, and
yeah,
she's still negative.
yeah.
I,
Well, but
you know,
that's her choice,
that's
I
her
guess.
choice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's her choice.
Let's go back to, so 28-year-old, you went through the surgery, and then what happened? Did you have like this, okay, right, I'm gonna use all the things I've been through and my knowledge, my experience as a special needs teacher, as a psychologist, what made you start setting up your business? That sense of I want to help people,
Yeah.
that must have been in you.
What's so funny is I had no intentions of doing this. And after that 10-year plateau that I was on, and when I started exercising, I started doing this exercise. It's called hot hula fitness. So it's like a Polynesian style dancing. It's no hula hoops. People think it's hula hoops. It's not hula hoops. But let me tell you, it's very sexy. Now, I think I done used that word so many times today. But it's a low impact, very and I started taking this class as one of my, exercises that I would go and
Mm.
do. And the instructor was really nice. And she was like, you should become an instructor. Again, the limited beliefs came in. I was like around like 340, 330 at the time.
Hmm.
And I was like, I'm not going to be able to teach this class. But then I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I took the certification. Not everyone made it. I made it at that 340, 330 pound woman. And I started teaching my classes. This is how I started coaching. I realized how hard it was to
Hmm.
get the women to look at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I found myself finding out that it was more than exercise, that
Hmm.
I was trying to help them to just love yourself as you are. I felt really good looking in the mirror because I saw the weight loss and I saw
Hmm.
the difference in my body. So I had no problems looking in the mirror at my hips and what have you.
Hmm.
And I was like, this is coaching. So I got certified as a coach first, did that for a couple of years. And then when I got really into the meditation, and that next step is hypnosis, I went and I got certified as a hypnotherapist and an EFT practitioner. And it is just something over time that I was using for myself that I couldn't put a label to it. But
Hmm.
now that I'm trained, I'm like, oh, I was doing that. Oh, yes, that's what I was doing, not knowing what I was doing. And so now I'm able to share it with everyone else to say, you don't always need a label for it. You
Hmm.
need to just know what feels really good for you. And I often get my ladies to tap into something that they loved doing as a child.
Yes, and movement and
Yeah,
dancing and just feeling the joy.
feeling the joy.
And then you end up eventually looking in the mirror because you could feel it.
You
Yeah.
can feel it. And children feel that way
Mm.
when they have an activity that they love. For me, it's
Yes.
swinging. I love to swing. And so anybody that's in Baltimore, Maryland, if you're driving and you see this lady on a
Hmm.
swing, it's me. It is I.
I hear you. I love a rocking chair, or like a,
Me
just a
too.
kind of
Yeah,
and there is something about this is like it's almost like a stimming tool where you kind
yeah.
of you
Comfort.
regulate your body,
Yeah.
and as a child you do it naturally
You do
because
it naturally.
you just know it feels good. A
Yeah.
lot of the things get um trained out of us as we get older
Yeah.
because
We grow up.
obviously,
You're too old to do that. Why? If I could do an event with a whole bunch of swings,
yeah.
I would have an event. And that's why I chose, okay, what was the next thing that I love to do? And it was
Mhm.
coloring. So that's why I use coloring because I help women to let's tap into how you felt when you used to color. And because you had no other worries in the world, let's tap into that emotion. And you
Mhm.
could use that emotion to change who you are and become the woman that you keep thinking that you can't be.
Mhm.
And so it's important that we are very strategic and
Mhm.
specific about what we want. We're too flippant. Oh, I want to grow up and I want to be a millionaire. Well, let's start with being debt free first or using other people's money if you're in business. Entrepreneurs will know what I mean by that. Let's backtrack and see what steps you can do to get up to be a millionaire because a millionaire wouldn't go and just spend money on anything. You have to step into that person.
I think this applies to things like, because we women are so bad at and I don't even like saying we're bad at something, but comparing us to others and
Yeah,
sometimes really having unattainable goals where it's like I would be happy if I was a size 2, but not everybody can be a size 2.
exactly. Yep,
And so it's almost like, well, then why bother even trying to become a size
exactly.
6? Why make the effort? And so that's
Yep.
kind of, it's so sad because it doesn't need to be that
It
way.
doesn't. You have to be specific. So, like for me
Mm.
growing up, I used to say, "Oh, I want to be skinny. God, make me skinny, make me skinny." And
Hmm.
at some point after that epiphany of saying the affirmations, I sat down and I wrote skinny at the top of my journal, and I wrote down everything that I attached to being skinny.
Hmm.
And what I found was that I really didn't want to be skinny at all.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to walk up the steps without getting out of breath. I wanted to spend as much as my life with watching my children get older. I wanted to go into any store and be able to buy my clothes instead of having to shop out of the Big and Tall's men's
Yeah.
catalog. I defined what that skinny was. And so then that skinny, that was no longer my goal.
Yeah.
All the other things were my goals. That's
Mhm.
why I don't weigh myself anymore. Because I'm like, I can't equate a number to my happiness because it's a whole bunch of sick. unhappy, skinny people walking around.
Yes, that's what I was just going to say. It doesn't mean that the skinny woman you see who wears the perfect leggings or whatever is happy and
Yeah.
does feel good in herself. And that's so it's so much about how we feel inside. And I think this is something that and sounds like you're offering all those tools to people that people don't do enough kind of really spending time with themselves to see what they actually enjoy doing.
Yes.
Because it's like I don't want to keep talking about weight and skinny or food or anything, but when you feel like you can't eat the things that you like to eat, or you cut everything out of your life, and right now we're at this new skinny trend again. This is just, it's horrifying me.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to eat cottage cheese for breakfast.
You're
um
right.
because
Me either.
it's not going to make me happy.
Yeah.
It's not going to make me feel good, and maybe I will lose weight, but it's not going to, I'm not going to feel happy and good
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
And I feel like the numbers, I think being weighed at the doctors is horrible. And I
And half the
actually,
time they don't even need to know it unless they're going to prescribe you something.
the other day, for the first time, and I know that they don't do this in other countries, by the way. So this is an American thing. So I grew up in Germany, and yeah, you
Okay.
got weight as well, and even like, but during pregnancy and all that, they look at, making sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but the other day I went to the doctor for something, and it had nothing to do with anything related to size or weight or whatever. And it's like, well, let's take your weight. And I, for the first time, said, um, I don't, I don't think it's necessary. And I said, no.
Good for
Um,
you. I do that
and
all the
I
time.
and she really looked at me as a person. And she said, look, I look pretty healthy. I know maybe whatever, in whatever scale, you might think I should lose a couple of pounds, but maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary. This is just adding stress. And I didn't
Adding
even
stress.
I
Yeah.
didn't even have to say that much. I just said, no, I
Yeah.
don't think this is necessary. I mean,
Yeah. I will do that too. Yeah. I, I,
and I didn't, up until that point, I didn't even know I could do that. And it just came out of me. I was just like, and I felt like, you know what? You've seen me over the years, and I haven't really changed. If you want to look up my weight, look at some
good
sheet
for
from a year
you.
ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I felt really rebellious, and then I thought, this is so silly. This should just be just normal.
Well, what would life be without a little bit of rebelliousness? I think I
But
just
it's
made up
like,
the
for me,
word.
it was such a major thing because I've always hated it. And because I don't have scales at home, and I feel like if I know, and then I'm gonna feel bad about myself. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So
And sometimes it sticks with a person all day. And just like you said, a lot of times we don't think about what we really want. I
mhm,
often like to tell people, if you were going on a trip, what would you do? And they have, oh, well, I would look at,
mhm,
places that first I would decide what kind of vacation I want. Then I would decide where I want to go, what airline I want to use, or am I going to drive? And then I'm like, you don't even plan your joy in your life like that. Like sit down and write down what does your best day look like? And really like, and that's what I meant by when I said I started scripting. I would
yeah,
write down what does my day look like, including being on podcast, sharing my story.
yeah,
And look what happened. Including writing books. I just released my eighth book because I
amazing.
wrote
Yeah.
that in to say this is how my life is. This is how I
Hmm.
want to show up in my life. And we don't plan, but we will plan the death out of a wedding, honey. I mean,
Yeah.
but you don't even plan your life and what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to do that we don't even think, oh, I really could sit down and plan
A lot of the time
exactly what I want.
we don't even know that we are allowed to do so many things.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's such a shame. And life goes by, and you kind of you think, why
Oh,
didn't I let
that's why I
myself
say, girl, it's
do
all in
these?
your head.
Yes.
It's like right in your head, and it's right there for you to utilize. And that's why I said, if you just ask yourself why,
Yeah.
about things that you think that you can't do, you're going to talk yourself out of excuses and into your limitless
Hmm.
possibility. And just keep asking why. As soon as you have an answer, then you ask why again, where you why
Love
yourself
it.
out, and then you see, oh, this is actually doable.
Why yourself out. I love it. That's
Yeah.
that's fabulous. So you mentioned your eighth book,
Yeah.
which brings me to how where can people find you, and how can people get in touch with you? What is it exactly that you offer?
Yeah. Well, of course, I offer one-on-one hypnosis sessions. I don't often offer them as often because I'm very busy, but they can be virtual, in person or
Mhm.
virtual. And my book that I just released is called Color and Center. And so it has coloring pages in it, journal prompts, and then there's a hypnosis that use a QR code and listen to that hypnosis while you're
Mhm.
coloring. My website is drdaryl.com, and I always have to say one R, two L's. Go and take my limiting belief assessment because sometimes we don't even know what's
What
blocking
they
us.
are. Yes. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and so
Hmm.
I created three phases, and according to where you land in one of those phases, you'll get a hypnosis to listen to every day. And no, they are not 30 minutes. They're like 5 minutes for you to listen to every morning, and you can also listen at night. Just start with that.
Yeah.
Start with the assessment.
Yeah.
And then you can move on
Hmm.
to other things. A lot of people think you have to do 20 things. You have to do one thing. My one thing was the affirmation. You got to make one decision and
Hmm.
stick with that. And then you elevate to
Yeah.
make other changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think once you start spending that time, and even if it is just 5 minutes a day, you will see the results of
Yeah.
that very quickly, which then will lead to you taking more time for yourself, which is kind of
Yeah.
where we want
Yeah.
to be, because we know. But
Love
it's
yourself. You're worthy of it. And I always say you're worthy of it right here,
yeah.
right now, at this very moment. And I also want to say I use the reference of weight because that was my overwhelm. For you,
Mhm.
it may be a bad marriage. It may be a toxic relationship with your father. It may be a job that you're crying on your way to work every day.
Mhm.
You can change anything because I don't want people to think I'm a weight loss coach. That is not what I do. I do emotional weight
Mhm.
loss. That's what I do. We get rid of anything that does not serve you, no matter what it is.
Yeah. Emotional weight loss. That is wonderful. And we can probably all do with some of that.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't ever stop learning. I'm always getting rid of weight. I
This
will
is
move people around in a
I
second.
love this. This is the natural progression, because my last question is always, are you learning anything right now?
Oh my goodness.
So as if you'd known, you walked right into this one.
I am always learning something right now. And what I'm doing now is I am jumping on my trampoline as a form of exercise because I'm so busy with traveling and speaking. I needed something that I could do quick and fast that makes me feel amazing.
Mhm.
And I love it. And so that's what I'm learning how to do different exercises on the trampoline. And it's something that I love to do. I love to jump when I was little. Again, I'm tapping into little Daryl.
Yes, I love it. And this is probably easier than finding a swing somewhere. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh, I love it. That is so good. Well, what a wonderful conversation. So
Yes,
positive, and
I
so
appreciate you.
many little pieces of advice and just wisdom. I really, really like it. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
I appreciate
taking the
you.
time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Is there anything you feel like you still want to say, or you didn't that didn't come up,
Um,
or
no, I mean, it's just all about you already have your answer. I hope that's what I'm trying to get across to people is that
Mhm.
you don't need to buy 1,000 things. You
Yeah,
you already have the answer inside of you.
yeah,
And I know what you said like about the money. It's not all about the money, but growing into knowing how worthy I am. we all deserve to get paid for what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was able to let go of that guilt as well with charging for, for my services.
Yes. I have to get better at this. I'm still very
Yes.
much giving things for free. And so that's my big piece of learning. I've kind of decided to tackle my finances and my guilt around that. So
Yeah.
that's
But you're
my
serving, what you're doing is you're selling the outcome.
mhm.
And nobody's been through what you've been through. It's a whole
Yeah.
bunch of hypnotherapists out here, but they're not me who's lost over 400 pounds and can speak about all of these things. You know what I mean? So, and even though I'm still working full time, I choose to
Hmm.
because I really love what I do. And I have a special needs daughter. So it's personal for me.
Yeah.
And I have the flexibility to still kind of do both things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But it took me a while to get to the point to charge what I charge. Trust me, it is a mindset thing and
Hmm.
a personal journey to be able to not stutter when people say, "Well, how much do you charge?"
Yeah.
It comes right out my mouth. You
Yes.
can
Yeah.
125 for one session, 300 for three. I'll give you a discount, and I'm not bargaining. And that's really on the lower end, to be honest.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you have to pick what's right for you and you
Yeah.
only. So yeah. Well,
Yeah.
thank you again.
Thank you. I'll
It
be
was
reaching out to you when I do season two, if you don't mind. I
I
would
would
love to
love
have you on my
to. I would
podcast.
love to talk about my story and the things I've been through that made me who I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I would love that. I appreciate you.
Have a wonderful rest of the
You
day and
too.
week.
All righty. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, wow. I absolutely loved this conversation and I hope you did too. It made me feel so good. And yeah, I hope you were able to take away some nuggets of positivity and warmth and humanity. I mean, come on, we humans can be pretty amazing. We have all the power. Let's make the world a better place, especially right now with so much negativity and horrible things and evil behavior and greed and ignorance. We can do so much better. I believe in us. Please let me know what you thought of this episode. Leave some feedback, some stars, get in touch, send me a note on Instagram. I'm Overloaded Steph. Go visit my website, transcontinentaloverload.com. Read my blog on Substack, Steph Gets the Boots, and read my book, Transcontinental Overload. It's out in English and German now. I would love to have more interaction, more conversations, discussions, maybe collaborations. And of course, I'm always looking for guests. So if you have a story to share or know someone who does, let me know. It doesn't need to be a podcast episode. I'm happy to make it a written piece. But please share your story. Somebody needs to hear it. I can guarantee it. And that is it for today. Thank you for listening, for being here, for giving me your time. Stay happy and healthy, be kind, and see you next time.